Welcome to the CS Racing Report. I'm your host, Cortland Simmons, with you here on this 29th day of September in the year of our Lord 2018. And it's Super Saturday and Sunday this weekend. The biggest preps and best preps leading up to the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships to be held at Churchill Downs, the home of the Kentucky Derby this year. And we've got a great group of Grade 1 and strong Grade 2 and a couple really top-end Grade 3 events as well in the next couple days. And in the hours leading up to the Saturday card, we have a number of interesting races coming up. And we're going to start off and dive right into that, starting with the ladies first, out on the left coast at Santa Anita Racetrack in Arcadia, California. The Chandelier Stakes. It's a Grade 1 event, mile and a 16th for 2-year-old fillies, $300,000, a field of 6 in this race. It's going to be a very interesting field simply because BELLAFINA, the very impressive winner of the Sorrento Stakes and the Del Mar Debutante, where the surf meets the turf in San Diego at Del Mar Racetrack. She goes in as the 9-5 favorite. We're going to talk a little bit more about her. But meantime, we're going to look at the other 5 opponents for her based on post positions. Mother, trained by Bob Baffert, second in that Del Mar Debutante, is at 4-1 for Bob Baffert. She ran a good race, was no match for the winner, or certainly tired in that last furlong. So obviously in the preparation for this race, we're going to see if the 2 turns are going to be to her liking. She is by a sire that you may know very well, Pioneer of the Nile. He sired American Pharoah, and we're going to talk a little bit more about American Pharoah here in a couple minutes. And she is the sire of Mother, and so the hopes are high that as the distances stretch out, that this 2-year-old will appreciate the added ground. So she's 4-1 though, so she has a little bit to prove. Meantime, there is Del Mar May. She's run some quality races. She's 5-1, so she's also going to be a live play. We'll see what the odds are in the seconds or the minutes and the seconds leading up to loading those horses in the gate. Vibrance is at 8-1 for Michael McCarthy, who is the trainer of a horse we talked about quite a bit in the last 7 to 10 days. Axelrod, who finished second to Bob Baffert's McKenzie in the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby. And so these 2 trainers are going at it again at the Grade 1 level. Jerry Hollendorfer has the beaten favorite from the Del Mar Debutante in Brill. She's still 3-1. A lot of people think maybe some tactics that weren't favorable to her is what cost her. Some would say that maybe despite the fact that she's by Medaglia d'Oro, that the distance isn't her friend. And we're going to have those questions that are abound in the minds of many answered on this 29th day of September. So she's 3-1. She's a front-running tactical horse. We'll see how she breaks out of the number 4 hole and how she'll hold up over the mile and the 16th. Then number 5 is trained by Bob Baffert. Her name is Derlou, and she is 4-1. And the reason being, she is a maiden winner at 6.5 furlongs in 1:17.92. Not maybe the most impressive time, but she is a horse that many people think it has a high ceiling. She is by 2013 Kentucky Derby winner Orb. So like Mother, the other Baffert trainee, that pedigree is bearing influence on the odds. And let's face it, she performed very well in her first start. Now she's going in to this race in Stakes Company in her second start, much in the same fashion that Baffert's chasing yesterday, a half-sister to American Pharoah did when traveling from California to New York to Saratoga, where she got buried in the Spinaway Stakes. So hopefully Bob Baffert won't have to incur any nightmares from this particular run. Some were surprised that chasing yesterday didn't stay at home to run against BELLAFINA in the Del Mar Debutante, but that's, of course, in the past, and that's water under the bridge now. We have another set of 2-year-olds going here in the Chandelier, headed by BELLAFINA. And of course, I know that most of you are asking the $64 question, and that is, who am I picking? Well, obviously, you know I love Bob Baffert's horses, and he does very well with 2-year-olds in races like this. Derlou is a very interesting horse. I don't know if she can beat these in here. Some would say Mother because of her experience and the opportunity or the likelihood she will improve could win this race. It's hard to knock the favorite, even though she did have a problem changing leads in the stretch and going the added distance. That could be very costly, so they're going to have to straighten that out. But nevertheless, she looked very good in this race. So if I had to pick, I mean, some say that Brill is going to make a comeback in here. I'm not really absolutely sure about that. I like BELLAFINA. You definitely have to use her unless she just finishes off the board. Then if she does run in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, then people are going to have somewhat of a doubt based on the field composition as to how far she can go. But hard to not use her in here because it looks like she probably will get the distance, but you never know. 2-year-olds, as Charles C. Canty once said, can be a little bit unpredictable. So I do like Durlou coming in here, but given what happened to Chasing yesterday, you can't be overconfident. But she was pretty impressive, so I like her in here, but she's going an extra couple furlongs, so that's a lot to ask for a young 2-year-old to do. So I'm thinking Mother is maybe the horse that you would look at in here. Maybe Brill makes a comeback. Hard to knock Bellafina, so I will take a bit of a guess and say that Mother would probably be the likely one to turn the tables on Bellafina. So that'll be my pick. It's very, very tentative. I'm not overconfident with that, but I wouldn't be surprised if Durlou decides to step up and become a star. Bob Baffert probably wouldn't have her in here if she didn't think that she would be able to do what McKenzie did, come in here and off a tinier layoff, but come in and perform well at this level. Usually Bob doesn't run them unless he thinks he's got somewhat of a chance to win, but as I've said before many times, even the best laid plans go wrong sometimes. So I like Mother in here. It's kind of a tough race to bet in handicapping this, but look at Durlou, and also if you're a handicapping man or woman, look to play Bellafina, and certainly it's not a bad idea to actually choose her to win, and then maybe try to find value in what you can find in terms of who you want to pick underneath. So that's the Chandelier Stakes, a 1.16 mile, 2-year-old fillies to kick off the NBC Sports Network telecast of Super Saturday. 1.16 mile for 2-year-old fillies, $300,000 from Santa Anita Park. We'll do a recap of this race along with the other graded stakes here on the CS Racing Report. We're going to move on to the next race, which is going to be the American Pharoah Stakes.